Hi, my name is Sarah and I am applying to be an EMCEE with Next Step this summer. So I remember last year at school, Francis Chan came and spoke at one of our chapel services. Francis Chan's this Christian pastor and author, and we were so lucky to have him come speak at school. His sermon was phenomenal, and he spoke truth, and a hard truth at that. He talked to us about how we as humans care so much about what other people think, and the only opinion that really matters is that of our eternal Father, our everlasting Father. So after the chapel service and all my classes that day, I was so excited to call my mom and tell her all about the fire that Francis Chan had brought to campus. I called her, and as I walked into my dorm building and began telling her all about the message from that day, I entered the stairwell and I walked past a couple girls who lived there, and I paused in the middle of my story saying like, "Hey mom," just like, "Wait a second." And then I got past the girls. As soon as I exited the stairwell, I continued on with my story, excited about focusing on what God thinks of me and not other people's opinions. When I walked past another group of girls, I paused once again, and once I was far enough away from them, I continued on with my story, repeating what Francis had said in chapel to my mom. I wasn't pausing on the stairs or in the hallway, trying to be polite and not disturbing the conversation, and I wasn't pausing so I could say hi and chat with the girls. I was pausing because I was embarrassed that I was so excited about what life with God was like. I was embarrassed that a sermon at chapel had sparked something in me. Why should I be embarrassed though, when Jesus is the only one that I should be focused on? I let the fear of others' perceptions hold me back from boldly talking about God's truth. In the beginning of Romans 1:16, it says, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes." Why do we hide that truth that sets us free? The joy in all circumstances, the peace that makes no sense. The very thing that brings us life. Today and every day, let's tell people about that very truth. The truth of the gospel of Jesus Christ that brings salvation. Don't let the fear of human judgment scare you from living your life devoted to Christ. And I've learned this lesson many times and continue to fight the urge of hiding my faith. It's a hard thing to do. For goodness sake, I go to a Christian school and I was scared to talk about God. So take a moment and think about a time when you've been scared to share the gospel or tell someone about Jesus. Think about a time when you felt like you're being pushed to talk to somebody, but being around your friends made you decide not to. I'm sure we can all think of plenty of examples from our own lives. So let's ask God to break this chain, break the chain of fear, so that we can boldly share the gospel with those that we meet. The end of Romans 1:16 says, "The gospel brings salvation to everyone who believes, first to the Jew, then to the Gentile." As Christians, we know the truth, and we're the ones who are able to go and share that truth with those who don't know Jesus, who don't know the truth. So, have you ever watched like a really good TV show or a really good movie or that new Netflix original? And then, I know I do, but I always feel like I have to go out and go tell everybody about it. Tell my mom, my sister, my dad, my friends, a person walking down the street, somebody I just barely met. But we aren't like that with God. And why is that? Why are we scared to tell people about the thing that saved us, that gives us life? And the person who allows us to live boldly without fear of the enemy and without fear of persecution. I think that is way more worth telling than about some entertaining movie. So let's be excited about Jesus. I've heard before that we can share the gospel in the way that we act, the way that we worship, and the way that we talk about God. Unashamed and so excited about what he has done for us. This can look like telling a friend about God's truth of forgiveness when they've done something and they feel ashamed or they feel guilty about it. It can also be as simple as smiling and saying "God bless" when you walk by someone going down the street. This is a way of boldly stating your faith and loving on a child of God. We can worship boldly at church, proclaiming God's truth. We can love on those our friends make fun of. We can sit with the student who always sits by themselves. We can live as Jesus did, even when the world says that it isn't cool or it isn't normal. Jesus went against everything that the world said, and with him on our side, so can we. There are plenty of ways that we can talk about Jesus and show strangers his love every day. If we start saying yes to God when he tugs at us to share the gospel, and when he calls us to love people that are hard to love, then we're able to see his kingdom and will become more like him. Let us not be ashamed of the gospel. Okay, will you pray with me? Hey God, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for the amazing opportunity we have to talk about you and all that we say and do and the way that we act, the way we interact with people. And Lord, I just pray that you guide our hearts today and every day, and that you keep pushing us towards